Hello, my name is Mike Johnson. I'm taking you on an inside and outside video tour of this 2015 Coachmen Pursuit 33 BH bunk bed motorhome. It's a very nice motorhome. It's a 2015, has all the modern features offered on the newer motorhomes. It's got 2 slide outs, power awning, LED interior lighting. This one, you should take note, has bunk beds, and it's a shorty, so it's only about a 33-foot floor plan, because these things with the bunk beds can get long. They can get us up to 38, 39 feet long. So this is a short one at a 33-foot floor plan. It's easy to drive. You only need a regular car driver's license to operate it. It's very clean, good condition, and it's been freshly serviced with a lot of major upgrades and improvements. On the outside here, we have new awnings, and later we'll take a higher elevation picture. Brand new awning fabrics on all 3 awnings. It's got new tires. This one actually has Michelin tires. These are expensive RV tires that are on this motorhome. They've been replaced. Frameless windows. They started putting frameless windows in the RVs in 2014. The frameless windows, they have a clean look. They don't have a frame visible around the outside. This main awning is a power awning. It has a brand new fabric, so you shouldn't have to worry about any major repairs anytime soon. Side view cameras. There's little mini micro side view cameras on the left and right side to give you a view when the turn signals are applied, and we'll take you on a test drive later. Giant cargo compartment here, so big items fit in your carpeted cargo compartment. Now these compartments are metal and wood. Some motorhomes only give you like plastic compartments, which if you throw something heavy, that can fail on hot days. But this is made of steel with a wood bottom that if you ever have a problem you can change it, but the RV is in good shape right now. Large towing mirrors, and this is a bunkhouse floor plan. While we're standing outside here, I'm going to show you the specifications, because people always ask me how long is it, how tall is it, how wide is it. So right here is a graphic of the specifications, and also while we're looking at it from this angle, I'm showing you a graphic of the floor plan layout, so you can see the layout. Anytime you want to see the layout of any motorhome, you can just go on Google and search the year space make space model space brochure PDF, and you can pull up the manufacturer's brochures for all the motorhomes. It's available by searching for it on the internet, so you can compare specifications between models. Now, what's comparable to this motorhome might be like a Thor Ace. This is on an 18,000 pound gross vehicle weight rated chassis, but it's nicer than the Thor Ace, because this one has 2 rooftop air conditioners, the big 13.5 BTU air conditioners, where you have a lot of RVs only have 1 air conditioner on the short floor plan. This one has 2, so it also gets the big 5500 generator with 50 amp service and big 50 amp power cord. So when you plug it in, instead of only having 30 amps to run your hair dryers and air conditioners and microwaves, you've got 50 amps. So that's a lot more capability for one of these short motorhomes. This one is considered partial body paint, so you've got paint on the rear lower and the front upper. It has an outside TV, and it has 2 let's see, it's 5 TVs total. It's locked. We'll show you a picture of the outside TV right here. So you have your outside TV, your inside bunk TVs, there's 2 of them, the bedroom TV and the main TV, so 5 HD TVs total. LED parking lights and headlights. It's all LED lighting on this coach, on the outside, marker lights, so long life. Very high performance headlights, so you can see where you're going at night. A very good design headlight. Headlights are clear, they're not all clouded up. New batteries. It's a very nice coach. We're gonna go inside, we're gonna take a look inside, we're gonna look up on the roof, we're gonna look underneath the chassis of the 33BH. Before I do, I'm gonna give you a little short demonstration of the power awning. Show you how easy. See, the old motorhomes, you had to get a stick out. When the RV is about halfway in, there's a little push tab right here, a push pin, and it can fit into any one of these holes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes. So this hole is the highest. So I can't do it with a camera, but with 2 hands, you push this button in, and then you bump on this to kick it over to the next hole or the next hole or the next hole. That lowers the height. Super easy to do. And then you have to do it on the other side. Only one person is needed to do it. Right here. We did some waxing and polishing. My guy missed cleaning up some of the polish on here. So it does have a shiny exterior. It's a 2015, but it's in good condition. So let's go take a look inside. I did a lot of work on the inside. So going inside the 33BH, taking a look, we got the AC on inside. Housekeeper's been here cleaning it. It's nice and clean inside. It's actually really nice. I like these Coachmen bunkhouse motorhomes. And as we look here, we're gonna notice we're on like 3 or 4 different channels. So we got one channel on here, we got one channel on there, we got a different channel. That's an over-the-air broadcast from the on digital TV antenna. We got a big 32-inch TV in the bunk, in the master bedroom. We got a queen size bed in the rear, which is a walk-around queen. If you have seen as many motorhomes as I have, a lot of the motorhomes you cannot squeeze around beside the bed. You just won't fit. There's humps and stuff that you have to climb over to get in, but you can come around all the way to the side, and we see in the mirror over there to the bed. You can access the cabinets and stuff. You don't have to climb over. You've got LED reading lights everywhere. You've got a wooden privacy door, and the bunks themselves have a wooden door. Dual AC. We've got the rear bedroom AC. We can turn that on. Digital readout on the controls. Mid-wall mounted lights. Some RVs you have to reach for the ceiling to turn the lights on and off, but this one you have some mid-wall light switches, so you can get by without having to reach for the ceiling. They're scattered around. You have TVs. These are brand new TVs that we put in the bunks for you, and this top bunk turns into a flip up, which turns it into a closet. Now we have AC to DC to AC power inverter, so these TVs will run from the RV being not even plugged in and not running the generator. So if your kids want to watch TV and you're what they call primitive camping or dry camping, they can do it. They have a little plug. They can plug in the inverter and plug the TV into it, and they can watch TV from that. It even supports Apple AirPlay. So if they have videos on their little phones or iPads, they can project it onto the TV, so they're not staring at their screens, you know, straining their eyes. You put the head over here and you watch the TV over there, and you've got good clearance, so it's above their feet, so they can have a nice sit up in bed and watch TV. Same thing for the lower bunk. Now, I'm going to give a brief demonstration of this as I set these things down. This, if you don't have any kids to come with you, this folds up and you have a hanging closet wardrobe rack here, so you can use this for a closet. It locks into a little keeper here, and then instead of having little kids in there, this could be grandpa's coach, grandpa and grandma, no kids going along, or maybe the kids are teenagers and you don't want to bring them anymore, you got room for clothes for a nice long vacation in your wardrobe closet. We replaced these catches with magnetic catches. The older Coachmens, they had little metal catches that get broken, but we replaced these with the super magnets. This has been an ongoing problem on the Coachmens, and Coachmen at the factory, they watch my videos because they copied me and they put super magnets on the newer models. So we upgraded this one to the super magnets to hold these doors so they stay closed when you're driving. You know, even if you hit a bump and it actually were to dislodge, because it's magnet, it'll reclose itself automatically, which is nice when you're driving around, not have things bouncing around. So we have a wooden privacy door here for full privacy in the bedroom. Behind the TV, we have storage here, so you can load your stuff in there. And this has gigantic storage in the bedroom, additional wardrobe space. That's the box that one of the TVs came in. That's another box. This is wardrobe storage with drawer storage below. When you go with a bunkhouse motorhome, you have all this storage. Is there storage under the bed? Not on this model. There's no storage under the bed on this model. But as you look at the bed, you notice you have nice wide nightstands next to the bed. If you need storage, there's storage over the bed. And Coachman says you can even put a CPAP machine if you happen to need one. Some people need the CPAP machines to help them breathe at night, and they say they'll fit in the center cabinet above the bed. Over here is a broom closet. So if you have your mop and your broom, you can keep it in this closet. You can keep your RV clean. There's almost no carpet in here, so it's super easy to clean and mop the floor in here. It's a modern travertine style floor covering. You have a solid surface countertop. It's not the expensive Corian, but it's very good stuff, and it has a solid surface backsplash. Some RVs only have a little wallpaper sticker behind, but this is a solid surface backsplash, and you have a splash guard so when you're cooking it doesn't splash onto the upholstery. Now let's talk about the upholstery. We reupholstered the inside of this coach. This has a brand new reupholstered sofa, fully reupholstered dinette, and fully reupholstered front seats. We did it in two-tone. These are actually shades of light grayish neutral tan colors, so they match with the rest of the upholstery. And you have a little bit of gray in here to match like your kitchen countertop, and people seem to like the grays for the 2021 color styles, so we added that a little bit. Slightly different from the factory colors, but it's two-tone. It's very tastefully done, and this material is actually a marine grade vinyl. So if you happen to sit here with wet swimsuits, or you come in all sweaty from riding ATVs in the desert or whatever activity you're doing, or you're all covered with dust and dirt, of course these are easy to clean because it's a marine grade vinyl. If you have a pet and it jumps up there, you know, you can wipe it down, sanitize it very easily. So 5 TVs in this coach, 2 in the bunk, main TV, bedroom TV, and the outside TV. All nice big TVs. Now this dinette can turn into a bed. If you lower the table down and reacquire the cushions to go across, then someone could sleep there. When they're not sleeping there, when you're traveling, you have actually 4 seat belts in the dinette. Over here in the sofa is a jackknife sofa, and you have 2 seat belts here. And we have an electric front bed. Let's turn the sofa to a bed really quick. We've reinforced this. It just goes down like that fast and easy. Now someone could sleep there. You could have a kid sleeping here, kid sleeping here. And this is like a queen size electric drop down bunk. You have to make sure the pins are out on both sides before you try to move it. And then we go to the front controls over here. And then down it goes. I'm just holding the button to bring it down. Make sure that it's going to clear the armrest of your seat. Now the bed is down. Here's another remote for the front TV. You can sleep up here. We have a ladder for it, so you can climb up and access the overhead bunk. That's big enough for 2 adults to sleep up there, cozied up. And it has a net around it so that you won't fall out on the windshield side by accident. Or hypothetically, if you've got little kids, you could sleep 1 this way, 2 this way, and 3 this way. If they're short, they got to be pretty small. But the little kids, they like to sleep up there. Now, of course, you have a wraparound curtain that closes this off for sleeping. They're tied off at the side there. Now, let's make it go up. People like to see these things move, so you know they work. Up it goes, all the way to the ceiling. Folding itself away. The whole cabinets and everything go up with it. See that? Up it goes. And it stops all by itself. I just held the button until it stops. Now to secure it for driving, you can put those pins back in so there's no chance it will come down or move when you're driving. This is a shorty motorhome. Remember, it's only a 33-foot floor plan, so you can actually get around and get into the popular campgrounds. If the campgrounds are starting to get full, they'll say, "I'm sorry, 36 footers won't fit," but you don't have to worry about that. This is less than 34 feet long. Now, in the beginning, I showed you the specifications, length, width, height. You can circle back to that if you want. It's on this video. Let's check out the restroom. The housekeeper cleaned the restroom for you. Got a little light switch here to turn the lights on, and you've got a little cabinet there. You've got a nice sink. You've got some storage, store your toilet paper rolls and shampoos and everything. You've got a extended out curtain here to keep your shower enclosed here, so it's nice. Nice shower massager spray head in the restroom. And a porcelain toilet, not a cheap plastic toilet. This actually has a porcelain toilet, very good quality. And you have a bathroom vent. Now later in the video, I'm going to show you over the top of the RV. This has weatherproof vent cover over the restroom with a like a see-through translucent material that it's made out of. There's another weatherproof vent cover over the kitchen. So when you're cooking or when you're using the restroom, you can leave these vent covers open, and even if it's raining outside, the rain's not going to come in, the snow's not going to come in. Or you can close them. You can close them or you can keep them open, so you have fresh vented air. Depends where you're camping and how hot it is outside, if you want those open or not. It's starting to get too cold in here with 2 ACs going, so I'm going to turn 1 AC off. This is inside. We have the frameless windows. So these frameless windows, you rotate the knob to open them, so you can get a nice cross flow ventilation. Even if it's raining, these windows can be open and you don't have to worry about water coming in and causing water damage, and bug screens in the windows and so forth. Now, something that's unique on the Coachmen Pursuit, they have this dry erase marker board right here by the entry. So if your troop has to split up, you you know, and you're not in a reception range of cell phones, you can leave notes here. Hiking up to Half Dome, or went to the market, or whatever. You can leave your notes here. And if you don't like a dry erase, you've got a pegboard right here with the push pins, cork board. You can leave your notes right there. You have a full absorption style RV refrigerator. You can turn this on. We've tested it works. The housekeepers professionally cleaned it. So very nice. These are very common refrigerators. They're very popular because they're high efficiency. If you like to dry camp, that means you're camping in the middle of nowhere with no campground and no hookups. These are very efficient. They won't drain down your battery. So for most people, these are ideal. Some RVs have the residential refrigerators, and the residential refrigerators, have a situation where it's really good to have solar, because otherwise they'll run down the battery. These are your pantries on the side. Because you have this size refrigerator, you have room for a pantry. Remember, this is a shorty motorhome. This is not the longer ones. We just sold a Thor Miramar, and it was a lot more money, but it was 39 feet long. And if you call up the campground and said, hey, it's 4th of July weekend, I want a reservation, you might still find the shorter RV campsite, but not for the longer ones. Under here, look, it's nice and clean under the sink. It's not all beat up and thrashed. And also you have a LP gas oven. If you show up in your dry camp campground in this national or state park and you want to cook and it's after 8 p.m., they have something called quiet time, where you're not allowed to run the generator, because in primitive, not all campgrounds, full hookup campgrounds, this is not a factor, but in primitive campgrounds like in national parks and state parks, if you're really cheap and you don't want to spend a lot of money on a campground, or you want a really exotic, very natural location, there might be a tent, not an RV, but a tent next to you. And so they do restrict generator use after 8 p.m. in some of these campgrounds that are not full hookup. They're called primitive camping. Primitive means you're not supposed to be using generators. You're like, use the RV like if it was a luxury tent. But I personally like, let's talk about campgrounds for a minute. There's a phone app, and I'm going to show you a screenshot right here. It's called the Good Sam app. You should download this app to your phone. This will help you find campgrounds anywhere you might want to go or anywhere you might be. So when you search on the map, and you can search for where you are or where you're going to be for a campground, and then you can click on the campground, look at the ratings, you know, see, is it a Good Sam, a KOA, does it have full hookups? So you can select a campground with full hookups. So you plug in your 50 amp power, you hook up your water, sewer, electrical, everything's hooked up. So a full hookup campground, you don't need to run the generator when you're camped. You have full hookups, and that's not primitive camping, but it also lists primitive campgrounds. And if you want to be really cheap, you can go to a full hookup campground and get a cheaper site that's a primitive site or a tent site. But I personally like full hookup campgrounds. Makes your RV like a hotel room. You can stay there for a week, you know, get a nice campground next to the beach, make reservations 6 months in advance, and really enjoy yourself, relaxing, not having to go anywhere. You got all your food stocked up, and if it rains, you got your TVs. We're gonna put the bed back into sofa configuration. Now, we reinforced the underneath with metal brackets because these are notorious for these coming loose, so we reinforced it so it shouldn't come loose anymore. Every one of these we had, and on a lot of other brands we've seen some looseness in the sofas, so we did work on that, so hopefully that will be good for you. These front seats, they swivel around so you can turn around and enjoy the conversation. Up in the front, we're gonna go on a test drive in a minute, but this has a brand new stereo that we installed with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. What the heck does that mean? That means I have an iPhone connected to the stereo, but we're gonna go on a test drive and I'm gonna show it to you in action. This is a brand new stereo. Now, so this is an iPhone 8 Plus. So the 8 Plus is the bigger screen iPhone. It's bigger than an iPhone 10. This is the giant screen, but compared with the iPhone, you have 3 times bigger screen. This is a 9-inch diagonally display, so it's a very large screen floating here, which you can aim. So if your passenger's the navigator, you could aim it like that. You don't need reading glasses to see what it says on the screen. I personally need reading glasses to read, but I don't need them. I've got my navigation map, and later on we'll punch in the Grand Canyon as a destination, but you've got music, messages, phone, everything right there. Because if the map is from your smartphone, it's always up to date. So you have that advantage. And then we have side view camera for left, right, and rear view cameras as well. And then I can select the camera. You can leave the camera on all the time, or you can turn it off, and I can choose which camera I want dominant. That's the rear view camera. Nobody's behind me right now. The current odometer reading is 35,023 miles, and the engine hours are only 757 hours on the engine. So how about the generator? Let's go check generator hours real quick. People like to ask me how many hours on the generator. So the generator only has 176.9 hours. So there's less than 200 hours on the generator. And this is your master control panel back here for your systems. Propane fluid level, battery level, fresh tank water level, black tank level, gray tank level, auxiliary tank, your water pump on and off, water heater on and off, slide in and out for the 2 slides, and then the manual override switch in case you have to leave the engine running with operating your slides. For better battery voltage, you have that capability. So really nice coach. It's quiet driving, so we're going to go on a test drive now. So we're going for a little test drive of the 33BH, starting with the side view camera, which is displaying a side view of the left side because the left turn signal's flashing. We have the left side view camera. We have great visibility from the driver's seat. Now this is a A-class motorhome and it has much better visibility, both looking around and down the sides, compared with a C-class. I'll show you a little graphic of what a C-class looks like. The reason these are easier to drive than a C-class is a couple reasons. This is an A-class and it has a tighter turning radius because it's built on a F53 Ford chassis. You know, Ford has F-150, 250, 350. Well, the RV chassis is an F53 chassis, the big brother of the pickup trucks. And we have great visibility because of the mirrors and the side view camera. So we can just look down our side view camera and see what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and make a right turn here. I'm going to turn on the right side view camera. We have a view down the right side. If anybody gets in your blind spot, you can see it on the camera, but also you can see it on the mirrors. So as we see vehicles approaching, nobody around here uses their turn signal until the last second. It's a lot of power. There's a 362 horsepower V10 engine, and we just did an oil change for you, so it's a brand new fresh oil in the engine. We're taking on a little drive here, putting little test, but you won't need an oil change for the next year or more. We did put Mobil 1 full synthetic into it, so you can go about 5,000 miles regardless of time on the synthetic oil. You do just have to check in case it loses any oil over time, but you're good to go on the oil change. This one has power mirrors with heated mirrors. So we've got the power mirror controls. We've got a dashboard generator start stop switch, auxiliary jump start switch. So that's if you have a low battery, you can jump start the front batteries from the rear batteries. And then we have the giant Apple CarPlay navigation unit here. Also, because of the new upgraded upholstery and we've gone through, there's not any noticeable rattling or squeaking or any funny noises inside. We put magnets on the bunk bed doors so that they would stay closed, and even if they happen, you hit a bump and they come open, they'll close themselves because of the magnetic catch technology. Coachmen actually copied me on my earlier motorhomes and started putting magnets on all of their newer bunk models, starting I think in 2017. You have brand new front brakes, but you don't have to use up those brakes, because tow home mode, what it does is it takes your automatic transmission and auto downshifts for you. When you're coming down a hill and you just barely tap the brake pedal, it will downshift the transmission to reduce your speed. It's a form of a grade brake or hill braking using the transmission and the engine. So your brake pads should last about 50,000 miles if you're using tow haul mode, which the previous owner was not, but they should have, and you can. Because of the new brakes, there is no squeaky brakes, and that's nice. That's one of the reasons we changed it. The pads actually, they weren't worn out, they were just kind of squeaky, and if you're paying a bunch of money for a new RV, you don't want to listen to squeaky brakes. So as we hit the brakes here, there's no squeak, squeak, squeak. So because it's short, it's easy to maneuver in parking lots. The longer the motorhome, the more challenging it is to maneuver. But we're going into a Costco to get fuel, and we can maneuver around this parking lot like nothing, like it's a big pickup truck, because of our outstanding visibility. Now the C-Class motorhomes are a little bit harder to maneuver because they don't turn as tight. These motorhomes turn really nice and tight. What you have to watch out for is the tree branches. You don't want to scrape the side of the motorhome on tree branches when you're driving through parking lots. So that's going to be your biggest concern. Even if you have to drive across the double yellow lines, do not hit the trees in the parking lot, because then you could cause potential scratches and damage to the RV. But we can get in here, we can get gas, no problem. So here's our navigation is operating. We have an iPhone connected. We have the big iPhone connected. That's the Apple iPhone 8 Plus, and the screen is far larger than the iPhone 8 Plus. So let's try it out. Hurry. Get directions to the Grand Canyon.
Getting directions to Grand Canyon National Park.
There we go. Navigation is enabled. We have our navigation. It's that easy. Instead of sitting there for 10 minutes punching in an address, you can use your Siri if you have an iPhone, or Alexa if you have Google, or whatever it is for Google. And then you navigate. Easy as that. Everything's right there. You don't have to put anything on your windshield because it's right there, a giant screen. Even if you're old like me and have to wear reading glasses to read, I can read what's on the screen. I don't need my reading glasses to see it. It's really nice. If we were driving through here and we're not familiar with the territory, we wouldn't even be able to find our way home from here. But thanks to our navigation, it's a piece of cake. Directions. And you can also enable your Apple Music to play, wireless, Bluetooth, wireless phone hands-free, or it also works when the phone is connected and charging, which is really nice that you can connect your phone and charge it, and when you get to your destination it's fully charged. And you had navigation the whole time. It's a really nice feature. So I hope you enjoyed the test drive. I've now swiveled my seats. These seats, you can swivel them around so you can enjoy the conversation. They have little handles underneath to release it. This one too will swivel around. They're very tasteful. They match the interior. This color is a really nice color. This is custom. We did the upholstery on this. We custom installed brand new upholstery. Why did we do it? Well, there's a problem with the modern RV seats, and if you looked at enough seats, you'll start to see where the material flakes off from exposure to sun and UV, and it gets all over your clothes. And if you're spending a lot of money for an RV, you just don't want to go through that. You know, it's not something you want to experience, and it's happening even on 2 or 3 year old coaches. We're seeing it happen. It has to do with a low VOC environmental laws regarding manufacture of the material that they use. I mean, when it's brand new, it feels nice and everything, but if you leave the windows open when you park it and the sun shines in, the UV reacts to the material and it starts to break down. So we put something different in here. This is not that. This is marine grade vinyl. So this is actually the same material you would use if you had a boat to make boat seats. So this is more sun durable, more resistant, and it should last a lot more than 4 years. It might last 10, 15, 20 years. It's very good quality stuff. It's a whole different material, and you won't slide around on it falling out of your seat if you're not wearing your seatbelt. So it'll help to hold you in the seat, and it was done professionally by our upholstery vendor. So Coachmen Pursuit 33BH. I'm gonna wrap up my video of the inside, and we're gonna go outside and take a look underneath, inspect the cargo compartments, and take a look at the roof. So we're gonna tour the cargo storage, starting with the front closest to the campground side. Those are paper towel rolls. Look how many you could fit in there. This is a big storage. You could fit a whole thing of golf clubs in there, or tents, tables, folding chairs, all that kind of stuff will fit in there. I'm gonna open every single one and take a look what we have. Front small cargo storage. We have some polishing pads in there for our use. Your big propane tank in good shape, it's not rusty. Your hydraulic leveling jacks, which are working perfectly. Your big generator. Now pay attention, this is the big 5,500 watt generator. Most shorter RVs only have a 4,000 watt generator, but on this one you got the big 5,500 amp of 5,500 watts with 50 amp power. And it's running right now. It's powering your interior air conditioning, keeping it nice and cool inside. Here's your big 50 amp power cable. We put on a brand new connector, so you shouldn't have any trouble with the campground. It's got its own carpeted compartment. And this is your black and gray tank. Now let me explain about black and gray tank. Those little handles over there, that's your black and your gray handle. When you dump your black and gray, you always keep the black closed at the campground at all times unless you're dumping. When you're dumping, you want all the liquids and solids to go together out of the black toilet tank. Once that's dumped, you close it, and then you open the gray tank and you rinse your line with the shower and sink water. That's warm, soapy water usually. So when you go to the campground, you hook up the RV, you dump your black tank first, then you dump your gray tank with the black tank closed. Now, if you make a mistake and you leave your black tank open, what happens is all the liquids flow out and the solids, including solid waste and toilet paper, will pile up, and you don't want that. You want to keep that black tank closed at all time. The other problem is if you leave that black tank open and you're hooked up at a campground, the smell from the campground sewer system can get into your black tank, and then when you flush the toilet, you're not just going to smell your own stuff, you're going to smell the whole campground, which usually if you have liquids in there, you won't smell anything. So you want to keep that black tank valve closed at all times unless you're dumping, so the liquids will accumulate. Liquids don't really smell, it's the solids that smell and the vapors, so you don't want those. Keep that valve closed. And so on the last day of your camping at a campground, before everybody takes their showers, close the gray valve, make sure it's closed, so when you're taking all the showers, you're filling up your gray tank with your soapy sink water and your shower water, and that way when you do what I said and you dump the black tank first and then the gray tank, you're rinsing your hose out. Now we are giving you a brand new hose. This is a brand new sewer hose right here coming with the RV. If you do forget though and you make a mistake, you do have a black tank flush. So in your black tank is a little split sprinkler head, and when you hook a garden hose to this connection, it powers the sprinkler head in there to help rinse out the black tank so that there's nothing stuck in there. But generally they stay pretty clean if you follow my procedure. Big V5 towing package in the back, 5,000 pound tow hitch. We'll show that on the other tour. This is the cargo bin. This is full pass through to the other side. Well, actually it's about 6 feet deep, but you can put your 6 foot long folding picnic tables in there. Here's another big cargo bin, kind of like the one in the front. Now we have our TV, we just scanned for channels. It found 163 channels in the middle of a parking lot while we're filming the video. Click complete, and we have over-the-air TV broadcast. This is HD picture. It's not direct TV or satellite or anything. This is just fresh off the mountaintop transmitters in the local California area. You can always auto scan your channels when you go to a new campsite, and then digital channels are like 2.4, 4.1. So you've got your TV stations right there. If you're at the campground, you can open your awning and kick back. Next to that is the video player in this compartment, which feeds to the TV outside. You also have an auxiliary power point, 110 volt power. So if you have a George Foreman grill or something instead of a propane barbecue, you can hook it up and plug it in. Let's go take a look underneath the chassis. Starting with the tow hitch, we have the V5 towing package with a 7-pin connector. Getting a closer look, you can tow a 5,000 pound trailer. That's your label. Your 80-gallon fuel tank underneath. 80 gallons of gas to go long distances between fill-ups. Hydraulic leveling jacks. Michelin tires. These are not the original tires from 2015. These are newer, updated Michelin tires, and let's see if we can find the date code on the trim. It says DOT, and the date code says 20. These were manufactured in 2020. So 2020 manufactured Michelin tires. You got your exhaust system, your catalytic converters under there, your muffler, your exhaust, your propane tank. Look, it's not rusty. That's your catalytic converter, the one that they want to steal. You got to protect those. But it's here. All 6 tires are These are nice Michelin tires. It costs about $500 each to go out and buy a set of Michelin tires, so they're not cheap, but you have them here. By buying the motorhome, you can take advantage of that. They ride really smooth and straight with these Michelins, because originally this RV would have come with the Goodyears, and these are not the cheap Chinese branded tires. That's your transmission and your engine and everything. Notice it's not rusty and it's not leaking. There's no seeping fluids. It's nice and clean underneath. Your exhaust tip, we touch it up with a black paint for you. We've got valve stem extenders, so it's easy to check your tire pressure to take good care of your tires. Mud guards. The other side of the 80-gallon tank, there's no damage. Those little white things and red things sticking down, those are your low point water tank drains. We have a center rear fuel, so you can fill it from the left, right, or center. That concludes looking underneath the chassis. Up on the roof, you've got a nice view of the roof here. It's in great condition, no leaks, and we just did a service with all new awnings, weatherproof vent covers, and your dual air conditioning are in good condition, fully tested and fully operational. Roof view. So looking at the roof from the other side, you can see the brand new slide topper awnings, brand new main awning. Those are all thousands of dollars of service that you don't have to worry about for many years to come. So I want to thank you for watching my video tour of this 2015 Coachmen Pursuit 33BH. Check if it's still available by going to my website. I've had lots of Coachmen motorhomes. I'm very happy with the product. I've even shipped 9 of these Coachmen motorhomes to Australia and New Zealand in different floor plans. mybestcar.com, that's the website. The company name, if you're going to pay a check for the vehicle, you're going to pay to the order of A Buyer's Choice. If somebody else is using my video for showing their RV, just know this RV is for this motorhome for sale. We're filming this in October 2021. And the company is A Buyer's Choice. Thank you for watching. If you have questions, you give me a call, 951-681-2101. Thank you.